I did something last spring that my children thought was crazy. I checked myself into a nursing home, not because I had to, because I wanted to know the truth. I'm 86 years old. I live alone. And for years, I've been telling people, friends, neighbors, anyone who would listen, do not go into one of those places until you have absolutely no other choice. But I had never actually been inside one. Not really, not as a resident. So I went 3 days, room 14, second floor, a window that looked out onto a parking lot. I brought my own pillow. I ate the food they served. I went to sleep when they told me to, and woke up when the lights came on. And what I saw, what I experienced in those 72 hours, changed everything I thought I knew. Some of it was not what I expected. Some of it was worse. And there were 3 things I discovered that nobody, not the brochures, not the staff, not the families visiting on Sundays, nobody had told me. I'm going to tell you all 3 right now. I'm going to tell you all 3 right now. The first thing that hit me was the sound. Not what I expected. I expected quiet. Hospital quiet, institutional quiet. What I got was a television running in every room, not softly, loudly, all day, all evening. Not because the residents chose it, because it was on, because silence apparently was considered a problem to be solved. I lay on my bed that first afternoon listening to 3 different programs, bleeding through 3 different walls. And I thought, this is what they mean when they say someone went into a home. This specific sound, this particular kind of noise that pretends to be company. The second thing I noticed was the schedule. Breakfast at 7:30, lunch at noon, dinner at 5, lights dimmed by 8. Everything decided, everything arranged, not carefully, by people who genuinely believed that a predictable routine was a kindness. And maybe for some people it is, but I watched a woman at the table next to me at dinner. Her name was Gloria, 79, sharp as anyone I've met. Push her food around her plate with the expression of someone who has understood very recently that nobody is going to ask her what she wants for dinner again. I didn't sleep well that first night, not because the bed was uncomfortable, because I kept thinking about Gloria. By the second day, I understood the 3 things I had come to find out. The first one is this. The loneliness inside a nursing home is a completely different kind of loneliness from living alone. When you live alone, the silence belongs to you. You chose it, or you're learning to live with it, but it's yours. You can end it whenever you want. Call someone, go outside, turn on music that you actually like. In that building, the loneliness was communal. 40 people in the same place, eating at the same tables, watching the same television, and profoundly, quietly, separately, alone. Not because the staff didn't care. They did, but there are only so many hours in a shift and so many people in a corridor. The second thing, the loss of small decisions destroys something in a person faster than any illness. What time you wake up, whether you want a window open, what you eat for breakfast, whether you feel like talking today or want to be left alone. These decisions seem trivial until someone takes them away. And then you understand that they were never trivial. They were the architecture of a self. I watched a man named Bernard spend 20 minutes on the second morning trying to explain to a very kind, very busy aide that he didn't want sugar in his coffee. She had already moved on before he finished the sentence. Bernard looked at his coffee for a long time after that. The third thing, and this is the one I came home thinking about most, is that the people who were doing best in that building all had one thing in common. They had something that still needed them. One woman taught herself to knit at 84 and was making scarves for her grandchildren. One man wrote letters, real letters, by hand to people he'd known his whole life. One woman, 91 years old, ran what she called the book table, a small cart of paperbacks she organized and recommended to anyone who passed. These people moved differently, talked differently. They hadn't disappeared into the schedule. They had something pulling them forward. On the third morning, I packed my bag and waited for my daughter to pick me up. Gloria was at breakfast when I came through. She looked up and I could see she remembered me. I sat with her for a few minutes before my daughter arrived. I asked her what she missed most. She didn't hesitate. She said, "My kitchen, not her house, not her garden, not her friends, though I imagine she missed them too. Her kitchen, the specific weight of her own pots, the smell of her own coffee, the particular morning light through her own window." I hugged her when I left. She held on for a moment longer than I expected. In the car on the way home, my daughter asked me what I had learned. I told her, I learned that independence isn't a luxury. It's not something you protect because you're stubborn or proud. It's something you protect because losing it, losing the right to make your own small decisions, to sit in your own kitchen, to choose your own noise or your own silence, losing that changes who you are faster than anyone tells you. And I learned that the people who hold on to themselves longest are the ones who keep something going, something that needs them, something that isn't finished. That is what keeps you out of a building like that one. Not good health, not good luck, not money, a reason to still be someone. I'm 86 years old. I live in my own house. I make my own coffee at whatever time I feel like it. I went into that building voluntarily. I came out with something I didn't expect, not fear, but clarity. The nursing home doesn't begin when you move in. It begins the day you stop having something that needs you. So find it, protect it, show up for it every single morning, whatever it is, a garden, a grandchild, a book table, on a card in a corridor. Let it be the thing that keeps you in your own kitchen. That is the truth I went looking for. I'll see you in the next